Hey adventurers, today I'm going to be talking about 5 things I hate about BookTube. So this is a specific look on my perspective on BookTube, not things that I hate that other people do, but rather that I do or that I deal with as a booktuber. I'm a very small booktuber, so keep that in mind. And I also do a double channel, so I don't have sole responsibility for an Erudite adventure. So there's things to keep in mind. And yeah, I'm going to jump right in with point 1, content. Coming up with content is probably something that every YouTuber, no matter what genre they produce videos in, something that they struggle with. It's something I struggle with in particular. I don't know what to do. I don't know what videos to produce. I don't know what I want to do. Some videos I'm doing doubles with my brother, Tony, and we have to come up with videos that work together. To come up with BookTube videos, that means I have to be reading books that I'm willing to talk about with you guys. And what's frustrating about this is that it shouldn't be as difficult as it is. But finding things that are interesting to me, that I'm excited to talk about, that you will also hopefully find interesting to listen to, finding something that fits both of those parameters, tends to be really, really difficult. I don't watch a lot of BookTube as it is, so I'm not super engrossed in the community. What I do watch tends to be things that I wouldn't do for myself, maybe genres I don't read, things like that, because I want information, just not quite about what I'm interested in, because I'd rather read a book myself and find things out like that. As a result, I always end up in last minute filming and editing because I'm not great at planning ahead for content. When I can get ahead of content, even if it's just an idea scratched out on a piece of paper, hey, I'm going to do this week, things tend to be better. But coming up with content is one of the things I dislike the most about booktubing. It's exhaustingly difficult and it's frustrating because you don't think it should be difficult. Point 2, this is just a very pessimistic video in general, but point 2, editing. I hate editing. Let's just put it that way. I hate it. Tony does most of the editing for our channel. I do my solo videos, and occasionally I will do the double videos, just depends on time constraints on both of our schedules and things like that. But I hate the process. It's not fun for me at all. I'm not good at it. Everything, I have to be repeatedly shown how to do things, and if I could just listen to music during it, something that brings me enjoyment, music or an audiobook, hey, that would be great multitasking, but I can't because it requires both visual and audio input to come. Not every step of the editing process, but a good majority of it requires both, and I can't focus with extra things going on, including music. So that's one thing I dislike. I don't like the process, and I don't like that I can't multitask while doing it, because I sit down and you just have to stop everything to edit a video. And it's one of those things that must be done. Just like coming up with content, it has to be done, but it's a part I really dislike. I don't find it fun editing. I like watching well-edited videos, and I set expectations for myself, but because I dislike it so much, I don't put in the time to come up with a result that I'm going to love, and so I go through this continual cycle of hating editing and hating the result, and it's a lot of fun. The third thing is a little more superficial. It's kind of a lot superficial. It's being camera ready. I lounge. I'm in a lot of hoodies, and my hair is not usually put together, which you guys have actually seen. Things like that. Just, I notice, of course, my physical features when things are out of order or place, whether it's with makeup or with hair or clothing, anything like that. Those I'll notice a lot. When I film and think, oh, I'm gonna look, it's fine. When I say that, I always regret the end result. So I'm learning that I have to put an effort into my appearance for you all, for my own satisfaction. Like, you guys could probably care less what I looked like, I'm sure. So trying to figure out that balance between, especially since I film late at night, I'd honestly rather be in my pajamas in bed at the time I'm filming. It depends. It's one of those really stupid things, you know? You're like, this shouldn't bother me, this shouldn't be an issue. It's very superficial, but you know, we all have expectations of ourselves, and that's one of mine. I expect myself to look at least put together on camera. Point 4, reason 4, is meeting other people's expectations. This comes a lot down to the fact that I do have a dual YouTube channel with my brother. Meeting his expectations and him meeting mine comes with a lot of challenges and a lot of needed communication, which we don't always do well. It goes back and forth. But whether it's filming times or books we read or the editing, who's gonna edit this video this week, it's challenging sorting that out. It's definitely not one of my favorite parts about YouTubing, but I do really enjoy, I mean, my brother and I get along great, and I enjoy working with him on a lot of things. Talking about books with him is one of my favorite things to do, so it's really neat that we have an Erudite adventure to be able to do that on. And hopefully this won't be something I dislike forever. Once the pressure relaxes, an Erudite adventure we've never intended it to just be about Tony and me. We've always had the idea that it would be really cool if we had other YouTubers giving input, or not even YouTubers, just other readers. You know, maybe someone we meet, a friend of ours, things like that, who we could get to know. Talking about books with different people is really enjoyable, and it would be really neat to be able to share that with you all. An Erudite adventure isn't specific to just Tony and me. It's any Erudite who has something that they want to share, and we'd love to help them be able to do that. So, like, there's some really cool things about it. There's challenges, of course, but there's some really cool sides of it as well. And point 5, which is one that would probably make it onto 5 things I love about YouTube, and also this video, 5 things I hate about YouTube, and that's being pressured to finish a book. I go back and forth between working well, between pressure and not. I make a lot of progress. I'm very productive when I'm working under pressure, but I don't enjoy it a lot of times. And feeling pressured to finish a book because I have to review it on a certain day, or Tony and I are doing a review together, it's something that, it's a love-hate thing with this being pressured to finish books. I both do and don't want to be pressured. And this ties into the duo YouTuber thing. We both have different expectations for each other. And while I don't like being pressured, I'm also very productive under it, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to work with that. I think one of my favorite things, now I'm branching into a completely different video potentially, but one of my favorite things about BookTube is that it's almost like an accountability for me for keeping reading continuously. To be able to put out content, I have to read books. And I love to read, and I love getting through books, and I have so many books that I want to read. You know the hashtag, so many books, so little time. And YouTube is a great way to motivate me to do that, even if it requires a little bit of uncomfortable pressure. That usually results in something shining and glimmering. Thank you all so much for watching. These are 5 things I hate about the BookTube end of booktubing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Stay warm.